We're now in 2023. And Ben Leet Overpass teams tend to be very good too. Now, there is no Ben Leet. It's Stanislaw. And, well, match is live, so we can stop talking about possibilities. We can stop talking about everything that could be happening. We're gonna see Ponalone on the server. Love Ponalone. Been following him for several years at this point. Holy cow. 2018 was 5 years ago, Nate.
We're old. We are incredibly old.
Yes, we are.
Counter-Strike boomers at this point. Looking at the server, EGR as well. You mentioned, what is the average age? Like pushing 30, you said at one point? I don't think it was the actual stat, but it's up there.
With Ponalone, it gets close to 30 because with Rush and Stan, they're both around like 28, I think. Don't quote me on that, but at least I believe that's about right. And Ponalone thrown in there with George and Walco, who are both around like 19, 20. But I think it's somewhere close to 30 years average age.
Something weird about this buy, Boggs, is normally we see Made in Brazil going for this more aggressive posturings, especially on the defensive side, maybe towards connector with no such thing here. Yeah, exactly. It's just one kit and some flashes. Straight up play towards the sand/bathrooms for EG. They're on the T side on their map pick, and they have been picked apart slowly but surely. Henny finding another good shot up close and personal onto George, the player you expect to be a star. Turtle as well chiming in, and that is a convincing hold for Made in Brazil, who shut down the EG offensive.
Really convincing hold. Henny with those 3 headshots, and Sani and Turtle chiming in as well. And a good start for Henny on the pistol round. EG kind of just walk into the USPs, and they get domed one by one. These two teams did have one previous meeting back at the end of November, so that's almost the end of that 3-month window that we normally grab for stats. It was a 16-11 Cash Cup victory for Made in Brazil back then, all the way back on the 28th of November. So there's a lot to have changed between these two teams since then. I still have to feel that EG are coming in behind the 8 ball, though, given the fact that I don't know if they've necessarily been practicing with Ponalone, and also the fact that MIBR are gearing up for Pro League. That's a great save from BRN to keep Insani alive. BRN also grabs a pair with the MP9. That's a lot of money. And Stan is just going to try and do some sort of damage. You can get the kill onto BRN or Insani, given how low HP these two players are. But overall here, Nate,
Sonny's jump spotting. This might be doable. This is a free kill onto the first player he comes across, and that's an M4 as well.
Whoa.
I would have said the QB sneak, but there's no such luck there. This player's a free kill on the site. 15 HP, knife in hand, if I'm not mistaken. He's going to get greedy. Oh, he's going to go for the knife kill, jump up and knife him. Oh, that is stylish. You don't see that too often. And Sonny taken down. M4's maybe a second on the cards, not quite. Turtle takes him down, aim punches him into oblivion, but you know what? A knife kill, that is the best of a bad situation.
That really is the best of a bad situation. It's a lot of money. It's going to give him a little more of a buy here, although
utility and an AK, if I had to guess. That is a very big knife kill to find.
Up on the ground.
Is it an op?
Yep.
Oh,
it's an op for Ponalone. Oh, baby. Ponalone. Well, it's not the Ponalone special. That's an Inferno Mag 7, but it's the next best thing. He's got the op. Let's see what he can do with
early. Yeah. This is perfect against the M4s. This is the differentiating factor. They might lack utility. What they lack in utility, they make up for with those perfect, surgically precise opening duels with the big green.
No early pick for free. No real contact. So the op hasn't made its impact yet. MIBR pretty standard 3-2 split, although the A players are falling back from that advanced position of bathrooms towards the site now. Clearing out long, BRN taking the initial probe, Henny backing him up. A little bit of a peek in towards sewers as well, nothing spotted. So a very slow, methodical round from Stanislaw's EG squad. But MIBR should be more than ready to take the fights. The thing is, neither team has much utility left. A Molotov double flashes, now only one flash and a smoke for MIBR. Molotov, nade, smoke, flash for EG. It's going to come down to the gunfights. And so far, MIBR have been very good in those situations.
Yeah, there's just enough utility for a take it. They want to go for it, but they're still going to forego some angles. Specifically this one, BRN will even get cleared. That's the question. George walks into it. George doesn't do its due diligence. He gets taken down by BRN. That's a nice opening, and he gets away as well. This is a very solid setup. Now 3 players, a trifecta on the site with a very robust setup all around. And EG already looking to go elsewhere. 20 seconds left, though. They have a Molotov and a flash to do it with. And there's still 2 players on the site to worry about. One at the barrels, one towards the ramp. Early duels do go the way of Made in Brazil. Stanislav gets the trade, and he'll get the plant as well with just enough time to spare. And Sani taken down, trying to get close. Wonko doubles down with the Galil, and somehow this is a recoverable, even favorable situation for EG. Stanislav finds another exiting from the default plant spot, leaving just exit now in a 1v3. He's gotten the first. He's passed the first trial in the IGL, getting up close and personal, but the second two aren't so keen on taking the duels. Walco and Ponalone. Pone waits for the cross, finds the frag, and EG are on the board in a very unlikely but well-played around and adjustment from the T side.
That was a hero play from Walco to get those 2 kills. Stanislav, yes, getting the bomb down is huge, but if Walco doesn't get the kills from the bridge players, MIBR win that round easy. Easy. That's all Walco right there. And then Ponalone gets the easy job to bring out the broom and swipe them up. So, very nice stuff here for EG and their young star, or potential star, in Walco. Let's see here. We have a timeout called by MIBR. Looks like it is a tactical pause and not a technical issue, so we should get back to the game pretty quickly here. Yep, there we are. And I do like this call from MIBR, who tend to be very liberal with their application of timeouts, because look at their buy. 2 scouts, a FAMAS, an M4, a Deeg. It's a pretty terrible buy, considering they had a 2-1 lead. And it's a reset territory for EG, too. They have a Galil still, not a lot of money built up. It's a very critical round in the early going, and would be huge for EG to win to build up some of that economy.
It's a very important round very early on. I don't think Made in Brazil would have gone for this force buy if it wasn't for the precarious positioning of the T-side economy currently. This is very well read by the CT side. They take the pause as they should to talk things out. They are disadvantaged here, but an interesting, unique strategy might be enough to give them that extra edge required to win this round and to reset this T economy. Scout as well, in effect for Henny. He has been starting off reasonably well. It's a little early to say he's going to have a heater of a game, but 3 kills thus far compared to what we've seen from him in games prior recently as well. It's an encouraging start. Insani as well having an equally solid performance thus far. BRN gives it a shot, takes a second as well. He's given the opportunity, and George is taken down early. He does lots of damage, but that's not a duel he should be losing any time.
No, that's a kill George needs to get. And he's someone a lot of us in North America have looked at as a high-level prospect to go into, like, American sports terms. I would say he's a 5-star prospect. And he just really muffs that one. Turtle's got a free pick onto Rush. Stan will trade that out, coming in from Monster side. There still is Insani to hold down the B side. And he has the best gun for the MIBR side. BRN coming on the fast flank. Or not the fast flank, the long flank through long A. Has the AK. Good flash, and Sani doesn't necessarily full commit to that. Decides to back away. Wise decision. Does not need to go die. He's the hope, and he doubles down with that first kill. Needs another, though, as his teammates come through to help him out. 2 left to find. And time, massive factor. What a shot from Walco. I don't know if he saw the top of the head or just had the pre-aim. Either way, down goes Insani. But can BRN finish it? No, Ponalone's got the angle on the second shot. The Ponalone big green gun comes up big time. And Walco with the last one. EG 2 in a row, although MIBR make it very expensive. That's a round where MIBR realistically should have won that, though. But those 2 kills from both Walco and Ponalone, nothing short of stellar.
Very similar to the round before last as well. It was an XV X-1. They were disadvantaged, and they had to take the site with next to no utility. No time as well, might I add. And they still bailed themselves out by studiously covering every single possible angle. Very well done from EG. And if we see victories like that with any constancy, any consistency, then Made in Brazil are in trouble, because no matter what, you cannot count EG out of those rounds now. That makes things all the more difficult. And EG,
yeah, good individual from Walco. Back-to-back rounds.
Yeah. Stanislav now looking to harvest some cash on the MAC-10. They're all playing with the USPs, and that nade will do a chunky bit of damage to a couple of players. There's the first kill, $600, $1,200, as he's just trying to harvest that T-side economy, build up a bank, which they can dip into later on if necessary. BRN, the canary in the coal mine over towards A. At this point, he's realistically here just to get the information and to maybe get a surprise kill, but he doesn't get it there. George redeems himself towards long. Total, though, does finally take down the ever so meddlesome Stanislav, the MAC-10 wielder. Maybe he'll get a second as well onto Rush coming down the connector. He got the spot. Won't get the pre-fire, but doesn't fall either. This will be a third for EG. 3 in a row as well. Made in Brazil. We'll have to see what the adjustment is for them going into their CT side. Because, honestly, it's been good all around. It's been incredibly good all around. They come out with the advantages, especially in the later moments, but when it comes down to it, they're just trying to take those individual duels instead of playing retake, which might have been the better course of play in those past couple losses.
I think Insani gets a little unlucky with that Walco kill. I mean,
he saw the head, though. He definitely saw the head.
Yeah, true. Still.
Which is a very well-placed shot. It is a little bit unlucky, but it was very well-placed.
It was really well played by Walco. And now I think the round prior, yeah, they should have grouped up and waited. Insani, I think, kind of has to take that fight, especially after that first kill. So he has to still stick around. Walco just destroys him, and then the two players swing out wide bridge, and Ponalone shuts it down. We'll see if MIBR can counter. Now, there is a point to make. They do not have an op. So
it was BRN coming in from short. It was the flank on water. That's who we found on the first op kill. If he just waits a second longer, hindsight, I'm nitpicking, I know, but I gotta make sure I say that. Like it's them really well covering. Like it was the short walk. It was not just a bridge play. So it is very well played from Made in Brazil, but again, it's just maybe a little bit more patient in the end game. But speaking of patience, there's none in this round. Pushing up towards the long smoke, the monster smoke, they find a pair of kills. Stanislaw offers some resistance, but now he's stuck in. They will evacuate through the connector, but everything is heard, and Made in Brazil are again in a very solid spot to take away a round.
They made the right rotation. The Molotov holds BRN, or I should say holds BRN up, David. He goes right through it, lands the first headshot, and gets the dink onto the second. Exit for the next. All down to Stan. One coming from his backside of the no plant yet. Spams away, giving away his position more and more. Should be able to get the bomb down here, but Insani coming up the lane. Should be able to put him down. Stands back away. Repositions out towards long. Takes a dink from Henny. An exit with the finisher. Now, the only thing is, there's a lot of damage taken by MIBR, and they don't have the money to really reinvest. It's going to be a broken buy, and I don't know if they'll have the op either. And Sonny seems to be looking for it. And he should be able to get it. There it is. Yes. Yeah. Henny will have the op. Now, will that be a boon or a detriment? Because the last time we saw MIBR play, Henny was far more prolific with the rifle and with the pistol than with the AWP.
One thing's for certain, he slowed down. I talked about him maybe being off to a solid start at 3 kills. That was like 3 rounds ago. He hasn't gotten a kill since. It's the caster's curse.
Yep.
What?
Always happens.
It's Upper's playground, right? It's Overpass. He has to be able to find success here, and if he doesn't, then it's a very big issue. So, I get it. I think they should be giving him the op, and they are. Let's see what he can do with it. Ponalone has one as well to rival. Maybe an early duel being taken between the two. And the other concession being made on the CT side is Turtle. He's on only an MP9. What is he going to do with that? Maybe a connector, maybe towards water, maybe something different. Either way, it's another aggressive play. Ponalone, a big flick and a half, doesn't connect, and he takes a whole boatload of damage with it. Henny, supporting his teammate, will fall away. It's an early duel that does favor the Made in Brazil side, but only by a slim margin.
That nade will do no damage, and Turtle gonna play up towards water. Could get caught by Walco. Around. AK spray. Actually, Walco takes the worst out of that fight. That's not something you want to see, is your rifle losing out to an MP9 in the long-range battle. But Stan's going to creep out and finish off that wounded player. Insani will trade that back, as he is so good at doing. But that's going to shoo EG up towards the A side now. They'll make their way over towards the upper side of things. Ponalone and George leading the spear. But BRN in towards bathrooms has long on lock. Henny can go watch from the side, although his op angle is actually going to be pretty muted. It's an awkward fight for him to have to take. And BRN's flank should be able to deal with most of this if Exit can't from truck. BRN, he spotted them all. Henny's actually got the first. BRN, such good trigger discipline right there. Did not take the shots early. There's the mop-up crew job by him, and actually, it does come down to only 2 players surviving for MIBR again. That is very costly, very, very expensive. Only thing that's somewhat positive for MIBR off of that is the fact that EG is pretty much broke right now. Also, we do have to make a correction. We did say that MIBR was playing Mythic after this game tonight. That has been rescheduled. The Detonate Pain game has been rescheduled. So this is the only broadcasted North American ECL game we have for tonight.
The only one. Man. I was excited to hear about a doubleheader. I know probably wasn't going to be broadcasted. At least I didn't think it was going to be, but doubleheader would have been something interesting to watch. But, alas, only game for today. Still a very good one nonetheless. Henny, a big flick missed, and now the Pistols are going to run him down. BRN trying to support from the connector, only good for one. The Glock spam him away, and Henny, up close and personal, will find a second in a scrappy duel. And it looks like Mid Brazil will stem the bleeding. They lose BRN in the connector, but they don't let the rifle get recovered. They quickly cover their tracks, replace the hole in the defense, and take everybody else down without much fuss. Just Walco holding in long bathrooms, hoping to be gifted something. But given the fact that Mid Brazil had the bomb, I don't think they're going to move too far from their current positions.
No reason to hunt either. There's no reason to hunt the pistol. Only thing it does is it risks you losing your own gun, just like Turtle here and towards bathrooms. Does get the spot on Walco, though, who is chased away. Don't do it, MIBR. Don't hunt him. Let him live. It's better for Walco to die than it is for him to live, too. And Turtle would be the one to finish him off. But if MIBR really wanted to be mean, they could have just let him stay alive, and then he would have had so much less money than his teammates. But Pwn alone has the op again. You want to see him get activated. It is a harder side to op on, T side. But I would like to see Pwn alone really get in there. The EG White squad doesn't have the same amount of game time as EG Black tends to. So we'll see if Pwn alone has a little rust to get away from as well. The EG White squad has been playing in a couple tournaments as of late. There's a bit of a mix, though, between the two rosters. Really using that, what is it now, a 16 or is it still 15? Man, Ooh!
That's a good start. Aggressive in towards short. He finds the opening on the Turtle despite being blind. The boost, the good call and adjustment from Made in Brazil, but it's expected. Walco finds a second. Flaring towards Pit alone, and Sani trying to find some room. He's given no respite from the onslaught, however. It leaves just Henny and BRN. And economy, as you mentioned, it's been kept well in check by EG. And so, Made in Brazil, it behooves them to save, and they shall do so. Both exiting over towards A. EG, though, they might be tempted to hunt this down despite their lackluster banks as well.
Yeah, I think EG, it would behoove them to take these guns out of the hands of MIBR, as they have the bomb down. It's a lot easier to rebuy on T side anyway. You don't want to let Henny save an op. You don't want to let MIBR save a rifle, let alone two. So take these guns out if you can. And I think Stan's going to get this free kill on the BRN if he comes around right. Or Walco actually will get that kill free. That's a fight BRN needs to be able to win. And Henny, what can he do to stay alive? Time is his enemy. Ooh, the second shot doesn't connect, but he is able to stay alive. That's a narrow escape from death right there. And let's see the buy from MIBR or lack thereof, because they have the op. Not much else. Ooh, maybe not. Dropped him for MP9. This actually might have something.
It's better than I expected.
Yeah,
that's
me
for
too.
certain. Op still present. They saved that. 2 M4s. They got the kits, 2 to be exact. Good utility on a majority of the roster. The MP9s can find themselves a home easily on Overpass. Connector or otherwise. BRN's already stomping around here. It looks like Turtle playing it either over towards Monster or towards Short Walk as well. It's a very good spot for the MP9s, and look at that. BRN, a double dink onto Rush, takes him away by 1,000 paper cuts. And that is a nice opening for Made in Brazil. EG, how are they going to adjust? They're going to take space towards A. Good adjustment, good read. But Made in Brazil, they have a player waiting. Exits holding in towards long bathrooms. Will Walco do his due diligence? No walking, but the shadow betrays him. The pre-fire, though, sloppy. Exit finds the exit. He's taken down. Walco ties things up, and BRN and Turtle tagged as they are. Henny as well at below half HP. EG have a very, very substantial edge in this round. 1 kill away from Stanislau. He's been a rock for this team. 10 kills to his name. Walco walking out long. He's going to get the flank on the 3 remaining players. It seems like EG had this round under wraps. The question is, can Walco achieve this wrap here over towards CT spawn?
I believe you might have seen the feet of Insani. He seems convinced that somebody was in the area. But now he's going to work his way into heaven. BRN peeks in. George to get the kill, not Stan. But it would have been one or the other there. Walco's ready for the flank. Insani coming around. Henny dropped, and so is Insani. Crisp aim coming in from the EG Black squad, and they tie things up at 10 apiece as we get to the final 5 rounds of this first half. And if EG are able to get a lead out of this half, you have to assume they'll be able to take this map. Because CT side, Overpass with Pone alone on the op, it's going to be a much more comfortable situation for EG.
It should definitely be. As you mentioned, it's a far easier side to op on the CT side. You have a little bit more individual freedom. You don't have to slot into a very specific spot in a take, for example. And that would definitely do him a lot of good, given the fact that he's relatively new to this roster. Brand new, as we mentioned, in the very sparse pregame show. EG, though, caution to the wind. They know they're against pistols now. Stanislaw finds one. Stanislaw just baiting Turtle. Hopefully they'll peek. Walco and Stanislaw doing the heavy lifting. And Sani does choose the perfect time to peek. He takes down Walco before falling. But it's still an EG round through and through. Henny lost alive in connector, stuck behind a squeaky door. This USP is not going to get anything done. Rush might be able to get a nice $600 payday to kill onto this final player. Regardless, though, EG are going to take the lead in the later stages of this first half.
They are going to take a lead, but MIBR should be able to buy up again. The question being, what will they be able to do with their buy? Because aside from the pistol round, MIBR have actually been losing on a lot of the clutch situations. Not necessarily like a clutch round where it's a 1vx, but in situations where they need an individual to get a couple of kills. And it's similar to tennis, you know, Nate, where it's an important round. It's an important point. The clutch weight there. And MIBR have not had that presence in critical situations. They've choked. And they are going to call for a technical pause. It is very quick, so we'll get back into the action here very quickly. It is not a tactical timeout. It is a technical issue to be rectified. Presumably something like a comms issue, maybe a headset, whatnot. But
I want to highlight as well, just very briefly. We talked about Insani. If it was the Insani show, it might be an issue against a team of EG's depth. But looking at it, everybody's kind of doing the lifting. It's a very neck-and-neck game. It just happens to be that a lot of those clutch situations, a lot of those 2v2s, for example, it's EG coming out ahead. But looking at the scoreboard, 9 kills for Insani and BRM, 8 for Turtle, 7 for Henny. Exit Shore is a little bit further down, but he's been playing a support role quite well. It's looking very good for Made in Brazil. The issue is EG just coming with those clutch plays and those last-second calls in the later situations and rounds.
yeah, I feel like the mid-rounding has definitely been favoring EG. The mid to late round calls have been EG's through and through. And that goes down to Stanislaw. I'm not sure who is IGLing for MIBR, but I believe it's Exit. But he's been getting out called. Whoever's in game leading for MIBR right now has been getting out called. George, timing goes his way. BRN removed on an aggressive peek through playground. Not a good start for MIBR on what could be one of their last buys of this half. And the best thing here for EG2 is the fact that Pone alone really hasn't had to do all that much with the op. It's been Walco, Stan, for the most part, getting the site controls and then finishing things off.
Yeah. And I will agree. I think the calling is definitely the differentiating factor in this game. It's what's giving them EG that edge on this T side. Their late round calls, the pivots, the adjustments, and you can tell they're just playing passive because they know when MIBR get worried, when they get skittish, they get aggressive. And they are going to get aggressive once more. Pone alone finds one through his teammate, if I'm not mistaken. Insani and double in response, but Rush caps it off. And he's going to press forward. Exit, the last line of defense, will do boatloads of damage, but he won't get a kill in his team's favor. Rush rushes him down with the assist from Walco, and that leaves just Henny in connector with the M4, not even the op, and in the 1v3, it's not possible. Even with these players tagged as they are, it's just too much of a tall task to ask. He's going to save his M4 for another day. EG, looking robust in terms of setups, strategy, and mid-round calling. And Made in Brazil, looking out of their element, looking aggressive because they're at a loss, not because they're pressing the advantage.
Yeah, it's a desperation push from MIBR. It's not controlled. It's not playing your own game. It's a, well, nothing else has worked, so let's throw another dart at the dartboard and see where it lands. The other thing is, EG are more than fine just taking fights. They've been winning most of their 1v1 duels. So if you're MIBR, you're even trying to double push like we saw in the last round through Monster. It doesn't matter. They're getting cut down. And EG are one round away from taking this half. It is their map pick, yeah, but still it's a big win for EG to take this first map. Good for the momentum. And I almost have to wonder, too, if it's the added veteran presence of Pwn alone that's kind of giving a calming effect to this EG roster. Because Pwn's been around the block a long time. Not at the same levels of, say, Rush or Stanislaw, but he's been around the ECL level for an incredibly long amount of time. He's a good voice in the server, and he's also a bit of a calming presence. He can bring the hype when he needs to, he can calm things down. I'm wondering if this is the Pwn alone effect here.
It could very well be. It is now, as you mentioned, 3 veterans on this team taking the reins. And I will say, it looks like those mid-round calls from Made in Brazil are catching them out a little bit, but they're holding their heads. They're holding their nerve. They're not panicking. And that's the critical thing to me. They're reacting incredibly well to the information they're being given, to the duels they're being given. EG, honestly, looking, I don't want to say the best they've ever looked, but this is a dang good look from a squad against a very, very powerful opponent.
Yes. They did beat MIBR in the group stage of ESL Challenger League last season, but they lost 0-3 to MIBR in the final. So regular season group stage wins over MIBR should always be taken with a grain of salt regardless. Still, it's a good sign for EG. It's a very good sign for EG. And they're going to waltz into an open B-bomb site. There's nobody here at all. There's the double stack over towards Connector. Pwn's not going to spot that. He shouldn't really stick around all alone. He's going to back up, have some help from George. The pistol should fly in here, do what damage they can. Henny should be nowhere near this. Henny needs to run away, save his gun, so they can get extra utility into the next round. And Sonny's going to get boosted up here.
They heard the drop, though. You could tell Rush heard the drop, and he immediately turned around. Stanislav's posted on it. Exactly right. Very well heard, and that's going to cost them. Again, they had a drop. They could have done a sound drop as well, but a player chose to go fast instead. That could have been a kill. Not too consequential given the economy, but still a kill nonetheless. Turtle and Exit trying to make it costly. Not that it matters, honestly. George, though, just exiting as he should. Finding one. Walco should find the second here up towards heaven as well. He's actually moving in the wrong direction. He's not going to push it. And it will be EG stealing away the lead, regardless of what happens in these final 2 rounds. And honestly, they could even get double digits, even against this full buy. They've looked like the better team. They've had the better mid-round calls. They have found their groove. Made in Brazil, what is their aggressive play? You know an aggressive play is coming through. What is their offensive going to be on this defensive side?
Well, they've called attack to talk it over. So we'll see what they're going to have. Alt warned something aggressive towards A. Either long or a fountain play. Maybe a bit of both. Only put 2 people towards B. Sounds like a risk, yes. But at this point, you have to take a risk if you are EG, or MIBR, excuse me, because EG are winning everything.
She was EG at this point. They know they're desperate, and they've seen every push. We've seen 2 of the monster presses through the smoke. We've seen 2 of those at this point. That is how desperate Made in Brazil are getting. I think something just measured, just a little bit of extra map control, something towards water / connector maybe. Even long as you mentioned playing a player behind the tree is cliche and as expected as that angle. Listen, just to hopefully catch someone on the timing. But as it stands, it's more of the same fault for this Made in Brazil side. They have a player pass over towards Graffiti, 2 holding towards Monster / Site, and then 2 over towards A. 1 jump spotting towards Sand / Bathrooms, that's a BRN, and 1 posted towards Long. I think George might have been spotted there. He's going to get in front of him. George's left-handed peek. He still wins it, though. Good crosshair placement. Doesn't even have to move. BRN walks right into the angle. That's not a duel you win too often. A left-handed peek against a player who knows you're going to press into that. That is very well done from George to hold his nerve and to find the duel.
Stan's got a lineup for 2 in Monster Tunnel after his monstrous first half performance. He still has a little bit more to do, maybe. Podolo jumps into the open, and Henny picks off George, but down towards B they go. It's wide open. Walco finally caught up, but he does a lot of damage. He gets his bang for his buck there. Now, Henny's shot needs to connect there. The Molotov might be on time. Yes, it is. Rush forced out, but plenty of time to reposition. And he's still tossing utility out, and there's one creeping through connectors, through water. That is exit. Where is Stanislaw? What is he watching? He's walking back bridge. Exit right, ready for it. Health too low. Can't deal with a shot. Bomb going down. All down to Henny. There's kits to be disposed of, or to be used, excuse me. And he's got an opportunity. He's got to hit that shot, though, in the cross. That's the whole round. He should run. There is realistically no way he wins this now. With Rush and Stanislaw able to buddy up and play off of each other. The kid is so far removed at Monster, and they've also taken possession of those. It's the round.
He knows it. You know it. I know it. Hate to see it. But I will say, every time there's a flank on a bomb planter, towards short specifically, EG disentrench it. Whether they catch the player swinging or in that case they push into him, EG are not going to let their bomb planter get blindsided. It's happened 3 times now in this first half, which is a rather significant amount when you think about it. It's not too often that happens. In fact, a team like EG, where they wait till the last second to plant and it's kind of down to the wire, that's almost always how they lose rounds. They lose to that player getting aggressive on the flank. And given the fact that Made in Brazil have been so notoriously aggressive throughout the season and in this game specifically, it's been very well read and very well accounted for by this offensive from EG. And rightly so, they have the lead as a result. They're looking for that double digits I mentioned before, and they're facing against, honestly, a better buy than I would have expected, but still a compromised one coming in from Made in Brazil.
Yeah, that saved op does help them out a lot. It's one less thing to buy. It's a gun that can be dropped over. They haven't necessarily been too good with their utility either, which is surprising considering how good MIBR tend to be with their utility. They need this 6th, though, almost certainly. The 6th round gives them a little bit more of a leg to stand on. Doesn't completely torpedo their chances if they lose pistol. BRN hunts in towards connector. Ponalone with the trade. One more peeks in, and Insani backs away. Zani does have the most kills, but I can't help but feel like most of them haven't had any impact in the overall course of the round, which is not usual for Insani. Long control taken by EG. A lot of room to work. Ponalone looking for a pick out towards mid. Won't be able to find that. He'll group up with his teammates. Stan lurking around, watching the backside. And that's one thing to note too. You talked about how EG have been doing such a good job of making sure their planter doesn't get blindsided. How much easier is your post plant if your planter gets the bomb down, does not die either in the process or slightly after it? Plus, you usually get a pick out of that as well. That's making your chances skyrocket exponentially.
Yeah, see, he said just so ready for anything that can occur. They have their opponents read perfectly. Like, they had a strategy coming into this one. Henny finds one, but it's tit for tat. Ponalone finds the trade over towards Long, and now Henny's boxed in. He's the player flanking him down. He has potentially found a timing out. Free kill. Oh, maybe not. Henny gets away by the skin of his teeth. Exit now. Has an opportunity as well. Walk goes on low HP. It seems like Made in Brazil might have that 6th you mentioned, that oh-so-necessary 6th. Henny walks in, finds the op of Ponalone, and it leaves just the IGL in the 1v3. Doesn't seem possible, and it's not. Made in Brazil get the defuse, bring us to a very nice scoreline of 6-9. The question is, will EG continue this honeymoon streak in the second half? We'll see after the break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. EG already showing signs of promise. Perhaps it's just a honeymoon phase. Perhaps it's a sign of something more. Either way, I'm Pineapple Phillips, joined by Boggs, and the EG team is now on the conventionally considered easier side of Overpass. It is the CT side. No dualies for either team, though. Instead, USPs across the board for the CTs. Kind of expected, but more importantly, Glocks and a P250 for the T side of Made in Brazil. BRN, a P250 Super Soldier, and 2 sets of utility on both Exit and Turtle.
Man, I wish there was more dualies in this round, in both pistol rounds. I mean, it is Overpass, so I can see why you wouldn't necessarily have them, but at the same time, dualies on the B site so well positioned, can be so hard to clear out. Same with the A site too. I just love the dualies on pistol rounds. Running
up or down out of connector, either direction, they are scary. It's honestly my favorite map for the dualies because they just kind of sit in connector, the central positioned point.
Mine's
and then wherever there's contact, it's like a sentry. It just runs out. It's so much fun to watch.
My favorite dually map is Nuke, but
that is true. There's a lot of maps where dualies are fun. They're used on almost every map at this point.
There's no map dualies are not useful on for pistol rounds. Let's preface that.
I'm just sad to not see more of them right now.
Same. Especially since MIBR like to buy the double raid boss setup for CT defenses. But they're not doing it, and they've got the bomb plant, which is a victory in and of itself. Now, if they can battle through this and win it, that would be huge. But look at Podolone and George. 2 quick shots delivered, making another dispatch. Ninja defused by a rush. That's the round as Podolone all but finishes off Exit. EG got double digits early, but again, MIBR can buy up. The only thing is they got no kills. So do they really want to invest into this round? Do they really want to go all in? They are.
What a quirky play, though. They went full stack towards B, no one in connector, and they had the setup utility for the retake. They had a flash, I believe a smoke, and then I want to say a nade as well, like a jump throw of a nade was thrown in at the start of it as well, and then just a straight plow through the smoke. What a fun play from EG. You can't do that every single time, but you can get away with it every once in a while. Very well executed as well, might I add. And they're not trifling with the SMGs either. You mentioned it was a flawless round. They're going to use that extra bit of cash with that Kevlar they saved to buy rifles. 4 FAMASas, an M4, decent utility, a kit as well. Made in Brazil, they did force, but they have their work cut out for them.
This EG buy has no utility. He's got 2 mollies, 2 smokes, all FAMASas and an M4. And Walco, taking a page out of the MIBR playbook, pushes through, grabs that first kill. Good start. They also have con control EG, so I don't think that they're really worried about anything. They have that con water play on lock. They have the sound cue. The only thing they have to worry about is long, and that's what Podolone is spotting for. EG are in a very good spot to grab an 11th, and I've been very impressed by what I've seen from EG in this game. Their first game of the season, playing with Podolone now instead of Wiz, who was on the EG main roster. But when we look at what MIBR has been doing, it is subpar from what we've come to expect from them.
It is. Leaving me with a lot to be desired. And it looks like Made in Brazil going for the best impersonation. A last-minute play, trying to trade out, but EG are already ready for it, waiting with open arms. 2 versus 4 for Henny and Exit. Mac-10 dispatched Henny. Good trade, sure, but a 1v3 the scout, nigh impossible, especially with 10 seconds left. It's 20 would behoove him to just go down. Behoove the word of the day, might I add. Stanislav putting the final nail in the coffin. 3 players stay alive for this CT side, and only 5 rounds separate them from a dominant win on their map pick of Overpass.
It's a very dominant lead, and it'll be even bigger here, as this should be a 12th, barring any Tech 9 pistol round craziness from MIBR. They'll have a couple upgrades, the Tech, the Deagle, the P250, a couple of Glocks, a couple flashes, a couple smokes. So, something that they can do damage with, but at the same time, it's not necessarily around. They should be even able to get more than a bomb plant out of. Bomb plant, a couple kills. Fast con rush, so this is the right play. They mow down a rush who's blind as a bat. Can't do anything, but that chunky boy nade comes through. I believe that's a Podolone gift. No, never mind. That's not a Podolone throw. That's a Stanislav throw. He just chunks them all down. The Molotov fade, or the smoke fades. Molotov goes in, and Turtle goes down. Look at that health, though. 12, 2, 13 HP. Only Henny has anything in terms of health, and It's going to be a mop-up round here for EG, only losing Rush. This is going to be a nice, easy path to a 12th.
Flank for the MP9, 3 kills, 1, 2, spray transfer, not quite. Oh, he's flanked the Glock of Henny. Maybe he should become a pistol player. That was like a double think and a half from him. Still, nevertheless, though, an unfortunate, unfavored situation. 1 versus 3, but the Galil can do damage. No. Stanislaw walks into it, picks up the rifle. 12-6. And Brazil do a little bit of damage. But I would say as much as they could expect reasonably. But it won't stop EG from having a very solid buy going into the first rifle round for the T side.
So we do have a timeout called. It is an EG timeout, which I find interesting. Although I don't disagree with it because that last round should have been cleaner. I think that they're just talking things over, making sure they don't let MIBR back into this game. Because EG, your win condition kind of does hinge on going to nuke. And to do that, you probably need to take Overpass. I don't think EG is going to have the best Vertigo. Vertigo's a very good map for MIBR. They don't lose it. They played it a lot. 13-4 the last 3 months. Dominating victories. The last team to get double digits against them on Nuke was Fnatic. Or on Vertigo, excuse me, was Fnatic.
That's one heck of an opponent, and it's also a long time ago.
It was at the Kato play-ins, so not too long.
Not too long ago, but still, it's a heck of an opponent.
Yeah. But at the same time, actually, EG Black has beaten MIBR the last 2 times they've played on Vertigo.
Oh, we have to talk about it again. It's a new roster. They've got Ponalone on the squad.
Yes.
Vertigo can be very hit or miss for your opper. Ooh, that was almost a perfect shot from the Galil on that jump up. Turtle just right past it. I'm not sure how he was even spotted there. Very slow. Stanislaw, the center in the control room, quite literally in towards connector. Finds one smoke, though. Might betray him as it fades. He spams away to so much damage, but can't quite get the kill. It's Turtle to take him down, but honestly, the best of situations the IGL could have asked for given his HP. And a very good mid-round adjustment from EG as we cross the minute mark, pushing in towards water, tagging down Turtle and forcing him away. EG still have firm control of this one. They're funneling this T-side directly into the open arms of Ponalone with the op.
He's got full HP, he's got the Molotov, he's ready to farm the CT side op. Just build up that kill count. Staying almost to 20 kills, Walco there behind. George has also picked up the pace. But this is the time for Ponalone to just have his fun in the sun. Flash goes over top, Walco trying to support, tossing the Molotov. Rush, one and done in truck, gets the first. Walco falls, but Rush doubles down. Ponalone rotating around the dice box, still looking for a lane. Both players come in that direction. Rush finally dealt with into a 2v2. Ponalone dodging bullets, but down low, 27 HP. That smoke walk will not work for Turtle, but exit, however, will trade. Look at the time, 6 seconds, fakes out, but goes down. Well played by George, hits the headshot, grabs the AK, looks for the op, cannot grab it, but money fine for EG. 7 rounds in front of MIBR now, who have yet to put a round on the board on this T side. And if we cut out the pistol round, it is a 13-2 scoreline in favor of EG. If we cut out the first pistol round of this game. 13-4.
13-4. Dominance, I think is the best way to put it. EG have a remarkable strategy. It makes sense, right? They have a veteran IGL behind them at the helm. Again, it looks like he's quite literally in the control center. If you look at the map, he's in connector, just in between everybody. It looks like a well-oiled team. Very well done from the CT side. The MP9 of Stanislaw, though, kind of funneled into a choice, has to play up close, and he tries to play over towards the party area. There's a lot of damage, doesn't secure the kill. As an early duel, at long last, a solid advantage as well for this Made in Brazil offensive. If there was a round to finally put their foot down, this would be it.
Ponalone praying for a pick, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get one and get out of here alive. So many MIBR players around the corner. So many players ready to shut him down. They peek into him, though, and Henny goes down first to the op. 4-on-4 now. Ponalone able to back away with plenty of time. He's a stalling mechanic now for EG as MIBR tried to circumnavigate the op. And rightfully so. You don't want to peek into Ponalone. All of these players have been playing against him at FPL and the like, rank S, and they know what to expect from Ponalone when he's on the prowl. And he might just catch him. He spots the gun barrel, spots the head, takes the shot, drops the molly and backs away. Going in towards long, Ponalone has the here, and he has the kill too. Insani on sight, bomb going down. The rotations are coming in, so little time for MIBR. And of course, Ponalone is still working around. The other side, ooh, George goes down. Insani has two. Almost a third kill on the rush, but it's a rush to survive. Ponalone into the open exit. Domes him all down to rush. Smoke up towards the bomb. Making a lot of noise. BRN around that edge. Finishes him off the first round in a very long time for MIBR. But it's a good time to get around before EG get 14 and before MIBR got reset again.
It's about time. I agree. They need to put their foot down now to have that little bit of extra breathing room they require for the comeback. I will say, though, Ponalone, we talked about him potentially being better on the CT side. He has so much free agency on the CT side. He has more room to work with, more room to breathe. Again, he is the new piece to this puzzle. And so on the CT side, he can kind of just work out a niche for himself, quite literally alone in that round prior, behind enemy lines over towards long bathroom. So much control being given to him by both teams as well. He played that perfectly, as best as could be asked by his teammates. It's just Insani pulling off an insane play, a 2K up close and nearly the third as well on that base plant. George with a pistol in connector finds one, finds two. The 5-7's putting up a significant amount of resistance. And this does set up his teammates as well. The scout toward long bathrooms, the player pressing up connectors / divider, and the player flanking long. Henny thoroughly encapsulated, taken down, and Walco catching the lurking player in turtle over towards B. That round is a disaster for the T side of Made in Brazil. They're reset, they get no kills, they give EG 14, and that was played entirely incorrectly. It starts off, you know, acceptably with two players falling to a hero play from George, but everybody else is just all by their lonesome. They don't even try to link up, to group up. Instead, they just fight on their lonesome and lose to superior numbers.
That's a sign of a tilting team, isn't it? Mental's gone. That's a call that needs to be played. There's enough veteran presence on this team to know better. They are going to call a timeout after that round. That's a round they should not have lost. At the same time, that's not a good look for the overall mental fortitude of this MIBR side. Yes, they've already qualified for ECL playoffs. Cool. But do you really want to lose if you can avoid it? MIBR just have not looked on today. And that's up and down the lineup. A lot of... What is Henny doing?
I think we're all asking that question at this point.
Why does he just run through both Molotovs?
He's the hero. They need someone to get aggressive. Like we talked about, when in doubt, push out, I think is the Made in Brazil motto.
They spotted him.
They spotted him. He has the hero rifle. He's so far removed from the team. If he falls, no one else can grab it. I agree. That last round was a tilter. In fact, I think that last round sent their minds to vertigo. I think they're there before their physicality actually is.
EG really haven't... Oh! Stan tries to clear out bathrooms and he gets punished. Ponalone's still here though, so that does give the A side a lot stronger of a defense, but the rifle drop by Stanislaw is going to be huge for MIBR to work with. Henny drops his AK over to Insani. Good choice there. Next gun should be recovered as Utility flies into the A site. What can Ponalone do? What can he do to hold? He does have Rush with him, and soon George will join the party. Up towards jump up, running towards truck side. Rush with one, but down goes George and Insani. Only able to get one as Ponalone saves Rush and grabs Turtle. Tagged down behind Dicebox, sprayed down by Exit. Bomb to the ground. Walco in a 1v2. Kit available. It's over by truck. Henny is low. But MIBR trying to claw this one back, trying to close the gap. before EG reach what seems to be an inevitable 15th. Nice from Henny. Opt to be recovered. 2 for 3 for MIBR. Signs of life finally for the Brazilian squad.
Offering some resistance, but it's still touch and go. Still less than ideal. They were gifted an opening in that round by the mid-round from Stanislaw. He called to go ahead and clear bathrooms by himself. I kind of like the call, honestly. Keep Made in Brazil guessing, but his shadow betrays him at precisely the wrong time towards the divider. So Made in Brazil make the most out of that opening. They break EG as well. This perhaps is a moment for them to find their footing, to find their confidence, and a moment for them to try and find a way back into it. It'll be 14-9, and find the next 14-10. Straight play over towards B, a pop play. There are a lot of pistols here stacked and ready, but they aren't pressing at the issue. In fact, they're just slowly being picked apart. 2 towards the pit. Behind the smoke being teased with Blade, with Stanislaw does find 1 kill. Not the second kill. Trying to tap through. Ponalone on the op. Doesn't get the shot. Turtle drops rush, and it leaves just Stanislaw. They know he's here. He got a kill here earlier. No, they don't. He gets a second gift before falling. A chaotic one, but at least a confident one for Made in Brazil. 3 players stay alive, and they're 1 away from that double-digit mark.
One away, and it should be here and now. It's just USPs for EG. Nothing that MIBR should be able to trouble about. As long as Henny doesn't go like op solo 360 no scope people, they should be fine. MIBR very spread out, but they are going to group up. That's a good call. Group up here. Throw your utility, clear out the site. Don't take chances. Let's get this down.
The trading
Bomb
has
down.
been incredibly good as well. If there's one thing to praise Made in Brazil for, it's their trading. And Sonny is the second man in. He's getting at least 1.5. 1 confirmed kill and like 50 damage at minimum. So if they can just play that trading game without being super transparent, then I think they have a really solid chance of at least making this one competitive.
BRN seems to be ready to hold for a retake. Just have to hope he doesn't hunt. Because if he loses the AK, that'll be nice for EG to have in the next round. George debating a swing. Oh, there's 4 players. There's a firing squad. Henny, BRN, and Exit, all with free kills. Had those stats a little bit. 4 rounds now between these 2 teams. Here comes the next buy for EG, but I don't believe Ponalone will have an op available. Which will definitely hurt the EG side. Yep, it's just rifles and Walco limited to a FAMAS. Danger though, Nate. Okay. There is no defuse kit for Evil Geniuses.
Yep,
that is bad.
It's the theme of all of NAECL at this point. We've seen it so often. We've warned about it time and time again. But hopefully EG can kind of hold it to their ground. They have done well in a lot of their holds, might I add. Another pop play towards B, and there we go. EG looking good at the start. George, 2 for 1, finding a double trade for his teammate up close and personal. That was Walco going down. Stanislaw, a good call off the contact, pressuring down connector, getting so much information and control. And Henny, playing the most unlikely positions with so many angles to watch on the big green. EG should have this round at this point. Stanislaw going to walk into the bomb. He's going to hear Insani stampeding. That's a free kill. That's the bomb. And that is a 2-person advantage. Now Henny with the op. Not the weapon to have in a 2vx situation. This really does seem like an EG round in spite of the 50 seconds remaining. There should be no way Made in Brazil find a way back into this, especially with BRN stampeding as he is. He's definitely been heard by Ponalone. Rush drop Henny. The last alive caught looking the wrong direction. That is a convincing victory from EG. 15-10 and now 5 map points on map 1 of Overpass.
Saving grace for MIBR is the fact that they have money to buy up again. Other than that, heavily stacked towards EG. All they need is 1 out of the next 5 rounds, and they've taken the first map. It is their pick of Overpass. They've all looked very strong individually. Stanislaw 23 and 15. Very good work from him. George stepping it up. Those 2 kills on the B side, so incredibly critical. Buying time and thinning out the herd. Ponalone looking for that opener. What a flick there from Ponalone. Catches the shoulder of Insani. Heavy hitter for MIBR removed early on. Man advantage for EG. No bomb spotted yet, but Walco might just find it if he creeps through the smoke at the right time. Turtle, however, will take him out, but the bomb has been spotted. This creep from long from BRN, though, could be so impactful, but EG seem ready for it. Stan's already clearing. Does he clear left, though? If he clears left and he gets BRN... Oh, he does! It's a messy fight, but he comes out on top.
It's a big one to find, and Henny can't trade either. Stanislaw, if he peeks, he might fall, but for the time being, it is a solid advantage for the CT. There goes the peek, there goes the kill. It's folly to commit to that angle at such a long range. 3 versus 3, tied right back up. A little over 45 seconds remaining. T side. It's really make a decision. The bomb is over towards A long. It seems like they want to go for it, but Exit's still holding around connector in hopes of a mid-round press from the CT side.
.28 seconds on the clock. They need to move. They need to go. A site has to be the target. Ponalone smoked off APC with that will fade. George in heaven. Rush playing divider. Exit will not clear him. He'll go in towards the bathrooms. Set up for a smoke. That's free for Rush. He knows exactly what's going on. Bomb plant coming through from Henny. Rush has not made a play. He catches Exit holding the flank. Pops around for the next. Does damage. Has to reload. Ponalone exchanges broadsides with Henny. Neither shot landing, but Rush has come through for the next. All down to Turtle. And he's got the whole world against him. Nate flies over his head. Pone spins in, but goes down. Rush with the Hattie. And what a great play individually from Rush. Not taking that fast fight towards the player on divider after he hears that smoke. He waits it out. The bomb goes down. And he waits to go clear the player who's holding for con flank, and then he has everything to just line up on the side proper. Really good heads-up play from Rush right there to seal the deal, and overall a really good map from EG, an impressive cerebral map from the Evil Geniuses.
Very well played. I think the highlight for both of us should be their T side.